Guess who writes shit during their work break? Cynic Clinic. Shh. Don't let him know I told you. But also me. I'm using valuable free time during my workday to create content that only I like. In celebration of sex number, congrats to me. Anyway, that's not a real milestone, and I don't know if I should be living for views, which I do, and I know it's pretty unhealthy, but whatever, I don't tell you how to live your life. Even when I do, I don't mean it, just like I don't mean it when I live my life either. Anyway, that aside, here's 5 manga I've been reading recently, and I like. Isekai Yurui Kiko Kosodate Shinagara Bokensha Shimasu. I'll probably do that again. Let's start things off with a bang, and by bang, I mean like getting shot in the head with cuteness. I can't go one of these videos without picking something cute to talk about, and you know, that's on me. With everything happening these days, and I don't need to tell you, you know. With everything happening, sometimes it's nice to not think about it all and escape into the cute. And the cute this is. Basically, this dude is killed by mistake. Whoops. And the god who killed him is like, yeah, you can transmigrate to another world and I'll make you OP. Does that sound fair? That seems fair to me, you know. And like, props to the main dude, but he's pretty blasé about the whole thing. And gotta be honest, if I were in his shoes, I probably wouldn't be okay with it at all. So the main dude agrees, and like the rest is history. You know how it goes. Anyway, he comes to in a huge forest and immediately stumbles upon 2 wandering orphans. Check out these cuties. The main takes one look at them and he's like, "You're my children now." No, but like, because the main is, you know, a decent human being, he decides to try and find the parents and figure stuff out, but, you know, basically ends up becoming their dad. Give me that found family trope. I love that shit. I'll eat it up. The rest of the manga is like them leveling up and unraveling the mystery of who these random forest children are and why they're so strong, and just generally exploring and, you know, being able to adventure through the world. Spoilers! They're too powerful because they're too cute! If you need an escape from the real world and need to be reminded that people are generally good and that pureness still exists in the hearts of children, you should give this a go. Extremely wholesome and can be enjoyed by the whole family. Beatrice. Damn, that's some tasty isekai. Check out the art, check out the buff dudes, check out how much skin we see. Sign me up. But enough ogling the goodies, because you got to get to know them as a manga first, alright? Jeez. I want to just say that honestly, though the main character is, you know, a little airheady in this, she's still like one of the most reasonable mains I've seen in a shoujo-centered isekai. Like, she's just sensible, though naive. Anyway, back on track. The main character is a bastard princess whose marriage sold off to some dastardly ass who, in very simple terms, is shit personified. Eventually, the country she's part of gets invaded and taken over, and she is forced into servitude. To save herself, she abandons her position and the name of the princess she is, Beatrice, and adopts the name Chloe, and dresses and styles herself to look like a young boy. Smart. What follows is her adventure towards coming to understand the man she is now serving, and we are allowed to witness the same man falling for her, but not knowing it. And if that isn't the most intriguing romantic shit trope that I adore with my full heart, then I don't know what is. The real commotion will come about when her princess secret is revealed, or how it is revealed, and the fallout from that. What scrumptious drama to be had in the future. Also, she used to be a doctor or something in her previous life, and she remembers all that shit, so that helps her too. Quite a lot. The art is nice, the characters are decent, but hot damn, if I don't see these two kiss or something, I might explode. Give me something, come on. Delicioso manga with tasty fan service for those who enjoy some buff dudes, as well as a compelling plotline and a main character who makes mostly good life choices. Combined with a romance that feels natural and a slow march to a doom everyone is aware of but are unable to stop. Shoujo and isekai at its finest. Give it a red hot read. Solo bug player. Alright, so first of all, this cover, this one, has nothing to do with the story. Okay? Don't get it twisted. This is, from what I can surmise, a blanket cover that goes over anything the storyteller works on. So this is not this. And I actually put off reading this manga for so long because of this cover. So don't do the same thing I did. Don't have the same mistake. Because this has nothing to do with it, alright? So let's talk about the story. Well, if you've watched number 1 of these, there's a very similar manga called Piggy Duke. However, in that one, the main character is a little more privileged, I suppose. This manga is very similar as far as setup goes. The main dude ends up in a game he was really good at. Oh yeah, this is isekai as well. Duh. Anyway, so he's reincarnated into the role of Lord Jared, and whilst I'm not a fan of that name for a fantasy world, it's still leagues ahead of Duke Slow. I suppose the main correlation I want to draw between these two manga is the fact that the main character has a similar starting point. Ish. They're both fat, and they're both side characters who are meant to die. Unsurprisingly, the story makes the main character in this slim down within the first couple of chapters. I don't understand why they do this. You know, being fat does not make you a bad person, just like being thin does not make you a good person. Don't argue your fat phobia at me. Anyway. So, he becomes the lord of the country, and using his in-depth knowledge of the game, starts improving his country and his people, and starts recruiting big-name NPCs to his cause. Actually, now I talk about it like this, I don't know what's so compelling about the story. Maybe because it's just done well, like it's just done in a good way. Anyway. Also, just, ignore the title because the main character doesn't use any type of bug, really. And he is absolutely not a solo player. He actually trains up and parties with so many people. He just knows the game and how to use the rules of it to his advantage, as well as knowing everything he can exploit in the game. It's not really... He is not a bug player. He is not the bug, okay? I really think they were trying to piggyback off Solo Leveling, which, is a good story, but it's nothing like this. The art of this is also really kind of soft, and the action doesn't have the fluidity you normally see in more action-oriented manga, like Solo Leveling, so that's something to keep in mind if that's what you like in your art. Pretty decent manga with a main character who knows how to do shit and does it well. Points taken off for glorifying thinness as the be-all end-all of characters, but whatever. I look forward to seeing where this goes. Maybe he'll take over the entire continent, or the world. That'd be cool. You should read it to see if he does that. He won't. This is an obvious fraudulent marriage. But is it though? Like, I feel like a fraudulent marriage is a fake one that isn't legal, but everyone's pretending it is. So this really isn't a fraudulent marriage. This one's a little weird. The main character is charmingly stupid and way too thirsty. My god. Like, if you think me objectifying men on these videos is too much, she's just like 10 levels above that. She's a master at the art of drooling over men, and she goes a little stupid for it as well. So, from my memory, it's been a while since I've read the start of the story, but basically, you know the start. The main character begins in a really shitty place, like her family is struggling but she's still rich, but she'll lose the inheritance or something if she doesn't find a suitable husband. I don't know, I don't make the rules. This is some sort of weird aristocratic world, and that's something she needs to do. She needs a husband, alright? Don't we all? But instead of like attending balls and crap to meet suitors, she just like goes in and approaches this top dealer in secrets. Like this guy is a mercenary and like also a noble. And you know what happens? She goes like head first for the hottie, and she just privileges him up. Like she's like, oh, treat me right. And he's interested in her because unlike everyone else, she don't got that nasty human stench. Oh yeah, so the main dude has this weird thing where basically he can't handle the smell of other people because it puts him into this psycho murder rage, and he's basically constantly doping on them calming psychedelics. but he don't need them with her. So he's immediately interested. Long story short, she ends up blind picking him because of thirst, and they get engaged and they start falling for each other. You have to get it to around 30 chapters in before things start becoming really interesting, and they start exploring the dude's history and the reasons why he has this problem with humans, and the reason why the main character is exempt. Because that's really interesting and quite rare for a manga to set up as well as it did. What you're there for is the reveal of the why, and buddy, I cannot wait for all the info. Yeah, just a warning, the main dude is definitely like okay with killing, and would generally be okay with killing anyone. And if that's something you're okay with, I'm okay with you too. Not really a fraudulent marriage, but one I can definitely get behind. If you want a deeper story behind your typical loveless to love contract marriage storyline, this is sure to tickle at your taste buds. With a main character at least slightly aware of her real thirst, you'll feel kinda empathetic towards her and be intrigued by where the story is going. Kikaishi no Tensei. Let me give this a little bit of clap here. In fact, can I get a motherfucking encore? No. Cheapskates. Now this is interesting. And yeah, maybe I should have checked the tags properly before reading, because I never fucking learned my lesson. But we'll get to that in a moment. This is sad. Like, why? I didn't have the same reaction as I did to Saihate No Paladin. There were no tears, but like, I made an audible gasp and my hands shut up to cover my mouth in pure terror at what I had just witnessed. And if seeing me in emotional turmoil is what really tells you if manga is good, then you know this is some good content. Anyway, I don't want to spoil this one for you because the sadness happens in more recent chapters, and though there aren't that many online, the feel of, did they just do that? No way! Is too strong for me to ever want to temper with spoilers, so I'll give you the bare minimum of a plot summary. The main dude has been reincarnated into another world. He starts off as a young slave boy, and luckily he is purchased by a kindly elderly duchess and is taken into the serving household. He was purchased because of his innate ability to use a power called barrier, and they want to train him up to become a barrier master to protect their house and essentially protect them. And they do. And it has all the feels of him feeling like he belongs, and he essentially becomes part of the household and considers it his honor to protect them, because it's like protecting his own family. He also develops a healthy relationship with the daughter of the Duchess, and by healthy I mean like, healthy. I get really tired of reading these manga where they immediately make the girls head over heels or just want to get into the pants of a child, and I say this is a healthy relationship because it is, and I really adore them. So he's super happy and he's getting stronger and he has friends and family, and I was like, wow, this manga is wholesome. However, at this point, I'm going to show you the tags for this manga. Oh no. Yeah. So, I'll leave that up to you to discover what happens. Anyway, the main character is just a sweetheart. Like, he's such a sweet dude. I want him to be my best friend. What a kind person. My last note here will be about the art, because this is just pretty. It looks nice. I really like the way it's been drawn. Something very whimsical about the thinner lines and attention to detail. Do you want to see the good life? Witness a main character be loved by family and friends and be nourished by their affection and training? Maybe read the first 6 chapters of this manga. Do you want to be heartbroken? God, what kind of people do I draw to these reviews? All things said and done, honestly, just read this one. I enjoyed it and it was absolutely worth the heartache. And drum roll. That's it. I do remind you guys that if you want me to read or review any manga, I have no qualms with literally anything as long as there isn't too much content. So leave a comment or smoke signal me or something and I'll just read and review shit. So that's it for today. This has been a Manga Report. Weeb Review is signing off. Catch you when you catch me. Y'all better start working on leg day. Weeb Review, out.